5th string bar chords. We've gone over the 6th string bar chords, the shapes based off of E major and E minor. Now we're going to go over the shapes based off of A major and A minor, just using the top 5 strings, everything but the low E string. So, check it out. If you recall a previous video where I explained how we take these two chords, E major and E minor, and move them around by using a bar, our first finger, to block the open strings, what were open strings, we can make any major or minor chord across this neck, up and down the neck on the 6th string. Now we can do the exact same thing with the 5th string bar chord, so based on A major and A minor. So normally I have y'all play A major like this. We are playing an open A, 2nd fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G string, and 2nd fret on the B string, and an open E. For now, we're going to try it like this. We're going to try not even worrying about the high E string just now, but we're going to try playing it like this, with our 3rd finger just barring those 3 strings. So this is the one bar chord we're going to use today, where we're barring actually not with our 1st finger, but with our 3rd finger. So what we want to do is we kind of want to squeeze into the neck with our finger, not pushing from our thumb, but trying to pull into the neck with our 3rd finger, trying to make that as flat as possible, as close as possible to those frets there, to that fret there. And what we're going to do is, if we want to move that chord up to make a new chord, right now we have an A major chord, if we wanted to move that up to make it a B flat chord maybe, that's cool, but it's not a B flat chord exactly. So we also have to move up this open A string, right? So if we're imagining that the 1st finger is back here playing an open A, right? We got to move everything up equally. So this is A major. To move everything up, we move the 3rd finger up 1 fret, and we move that open string up to the 1st fret. Wow, look at that. We got a B flat major chord. And you guessed it, if you moved it up 1 more fret, it's a B major chord. Keep going. That's a C major chord. Oh my gosh. Okay. C sharp, D flat, O, and D. So keep that going all the way up the neck. All you have to do is think about what note am I on, and if you need to, if you're not super familiar with the notes all the way up the neck, just start from where you know and count up. If this is an A, oh sorry, it's not an A, that's a D string. If this is an A, then you know this must be a B flat or an A sharp. This must be a B, this must be a C, if you're just thinking in half steps, because every fret equals 1 half step. So we went over this. This is B flat, major. But now let's talk about the minor shape. So we know this is A minor. The same principle is going to apply, okay? For now, don't worry about the high E string, because this is going to make it a little bit easier for us. So instead of fingering it like this, 2, 3, and 1, let's do the exact same notes, but with these fingers, 3, 4, and 2. And now let's move that up 1 fret. So we're moving these 3 notes up 1 fret. We also have to move this low A string up 1 fret. Whoa, that's a B flat minor chord. So you'll notice it's the exact same thing, except this high note, this D, is now down to a D flat. That's the minor shape. And then the same rules apply. B minor, C minor, C sharp, or D flat minor, D minor. So, with both of these, and actually, if you're not worrying about the high E string for these chords, for this shape, the minor 5th string minor chord, bar chords, you actually don't really need to bar at all. Technically, you're only barring if you're playing that high E string. But if you're not, you don't even have to play it at all, and your 1st finger just needs to kind of like block that string so you don't hit it accidentally, right? So we've got 2 new shapes. We've got the major shape based on A major, and the minor shape based on A minor. So now you should have, if you worked on the other video, you should have 2 ways of playing major chords. Here is an F major chord on the 6th string. Here is a C major chord on the 5th string. And then you have 2 ways of playing minor chords. So let's say here's a G minor chord on the 6th string, and here's a D minor chord on the 5th string. So now, here's the cool thing. Once you're comfortable with these chords, try to take them and play a song you know already with these new shapes. Because before, if you were just using 6-string bar chords, if you wanted to play like G major down here, and you only had 6-string bar chords under your belt, and say you wanted to jump to an E minor chord, for instance, using a bar. The dearest one, not including this one, is all the way up here, which is very hard to play if you don't have an electric guitar and your acoustic guitar kind of stops back here. The body stops you from going any further. But now, all of a sudden, I've got G major here, and then I've got E minor over here. It's a lot closer and a lot easier to jump to. So, what I recommend doing is taking a song that you know already, a song we were working on in class, or a song that you're working on your own, and try to play the whole thing with bar chords, just to start getting comfortable with jumping, because it takes a minute to be able to move comfortably so that you're shifting equally as you move. So for instance, if we take another look at a big jump, here's F major on the 6th string, and if we want to jump all the way up to like D major up here, look at how close my fingers are together compared to down here. That's because the frets, the distance between the frets is wider near the headstock and closer, smaller, as we go up the neck. So we just got to think about, am I moving and preparing to make my shape smaller, or preparing to make it bigger if I'm going this way? So that just takes some getting used to, and I think the best way to do that is just by playing as many bar chords as you can, and playing them as often as you can to get used to them. So let me know if you have any questions, and have fun.